All right, I think I'm recording. So we're doing another one of these. I did one in 2023, and I wanted to do another one. And okay, so what's changed? I'm 23 years old now. I just left a job paying $200,000 a year as an engineer. One of the four jobs that I've left recently. Like I've jumped a lot around. I've tried a bunch of different companies, um, and it all comes back to the same thing. I want to build something of my own. And it's really frustrating because I feel like I have all the skills to like I can do designing, I can code, I can do marketing. Not the best at sales, but getting there. Um, but it's just like that one hurdle of like, what do I build? What's the idea? Where do I get the distribution and all these things? And it keeps falling back to that. And it's really frustrating. But just to give some context here is I want to try to do these like raw and authentic chats with myself. Really, like it's more so for myself. And I'm going to look at this here. It's just me in OBS. And then I know the camera's up there, but it's kind of far up. I might occasionally look at the camera, but if I'm looking here, I'm not looking at a script. It's like quite literally just OBS. So that's why this video might be all over the place. But okay, what do we talk about? So life, like recently, what has life been? My life has always been very different. And everybody goes through their own life at their own pace and learn a lot of different things along the way. I never went to university. I went straight from high school into the workforce. So I started a startup with a couple of my friends when I was 18, and that didn't work out. But that was kind of the introduction to this whole world. And I built a ton of things before that. When I was 15 is when I built my first social network. It was called Project School, I believe. Project School, really bad site built with PHP. I'm not going to get into technical details, but just for those of you that know, that was the beginning. And those projects really helped me. I at that time I was so obsessed with what I did. And I would sit in front of the computer for literal 12, 13, 14 hours and straight code. And I know that sounds wild, like, wow, how could you do that? And there's no way you're productive for that time. But like, I would genuinely do that, especially on weekends and summer vacations. Like summer vacations was my go. Now I'm like, I got 2 months free from school. Like, fuck, let's just build a bunch of shit. And summer vacations, like I would love summer vacations because of that. It was just my time to shine. Like, okay, now I have 2 months. Every day I wake up, I have no responsibilities. Thankfully, I have a family that loves me and I love them. And like, I get food every day. My parents, like, they cook the food, I get the food, I eat the food, and then I just go back to like working on the things that I'm doing. And I would be so obsessed with these things, right, man? Like, and I think arguably that's why like I've gotten to where I am today. And I want to talk about that. Like a lot of people, like a lot of my acquaintances and people that I know would call me successful. And I'm not a big fan of that word. Especially like, sure, I have an apartment, sure, I have like everything I could ask for, but it still feels like I'm missing something. Like there's more to this than just what I have. Like frankly, I don't give a shit about the stuff that I have here. Like what truly matters to me are experiences. Like I want to be able to take my family and my friends on experiences constantly without having to worry about what anything costs. And that's just not possible having a job. Like it's just not. Like you can find a job where there's less to do, but you still have the responsibilities of you're in that job and you have a lot to take care of, and you're going to get paid, and you get paid like once a month or bi-weekly depending on the sub. It doesn't matter, same shit. Your parents are still in work, so they have to get time off, and that makes it more complicated. And they can't just whenever they want take time off. That's just not how it works. But the only way that I see that this could work is that I build something of my own and I have enough cash flow to sustain my lifestyle, sustain my family's lifestyle, and then, spend money on experiences, take them places, take my friends to places, go do things, produce content. Like, one thing I really want to do, like, I kid you not, is content. Like, I love coding and I love building products. That's the one thing that I love branding things. I love having an idea and being able to turn it into reality, whether that's through code or whether that is through like building some in-person brand, like a shirt, a hoodie, like just those are experiences too. It's just a different form of experience. Like, a software might help you make more through the software. That's still like the UI and the way that they interact with the application is the experience, right? And how easy it is to use and how much it helps. Like, all of that is a part of the experience. And it's the same thing with clothing and in person, like brands and like brick and mortar stores. If you have a cafe or something, like all of that is like based around a feeling. Like it's the feeling of being in the cafe. It's the feeling of wearing the clothes that you've produced. It's the feeling of using the app. It's the feeling of playing that game. Like, that is what I care about. I care about crafting that feeling and giving people that sense of like belonging to something, right? And over the years that I've been working in the force, is that the right word for it? Like, I've been working as an engineer at a bunch of these companies. I've grown to learn that I can't sit in one corner and screw a screw for months. Like I can't do that, where I'm just told what to do like every day. This is what you're gonna be doing, and here's the tools. Like, or sometimes you have to find the tools. Like, you're not given the tools. You're told like, this is the problem we have and you have to solve it. That I like because now you're activating your creative mind. Whereas if you're told, here's the tool, here's the problem, just solve it like this, which a lot of it is, it's like you feel like a modern day slave when you do that every single day for years. And it just doesn't feel right. Like, it feels wrong. It feels like I'm trapped inside of a box. And don't get me started on just having a salary. Salary is the biggest bullshit in my mind for how I operate. Like, it does not go well with how I operate. Like that's one thing I've learned. Salaries are this, like, it's like a box where there's a ceiling. Like, like, I have to work 5 years to get up to this point, 10 years to get up to that point, and that's given you stay in this company, right? That's why I've jumped. Like, I've spent no longer than 2 years at any company. The shortest I've spent is like 4 or 5 months, and the salary progression between each time has probably been like 20%, 30%. Like, and I kid you not, it's been crazy. And people don't question it. People don't like, oh, like, why did you stay there for so short? Like, I wanted to start a company and it didn't work. Okay, cool. Like, it's not that deep, right? And I'm sorry if I'm like out of breath and stuff. I'm starting to get a bit sick, so I'm just like trying to do this now before it's too late. But yeah. But I wanted to talk about life and where I'm at. Like, I know I spoke about this last year. I said I wanted to start an agency, and a lot of that has honestly just been watching YouTube and seeing like, this is the next wave, or like, this is what you need to do, blah, blah. Like, I know that starting an agency, service-based business, is a way to get money. And it's just like, there's so much work that they don't tell you about. Like, you have to do incredible amounts of work to get to the point where your business is sustainable, you have cash flow, even finding clients most of the time. Like, everybody's trying to do this shit. And then, like, here we are with the skills and abilities to build the next Snapchat, the next Facebook, the next WeWork. I just watched We Crash on Apple TV. That's why I said that. But Like, and it feels wrong to be selling your time for money. Like, I don't mind using my time on something that I believe might be big. Like, say I'm building the next, and it doesn't have to be like the next Facebook. It could literally be a super niche app that like generates, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and like it's just no maintenance. Like, it's a very niche app. There's a bunch of those apps. There's like tons of these small apps where there's like one founder. It's not like you don't even at that point call yourself a founder, because it's just a side project, and you build this thing like super niche, and you cash in like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from that, and then you have another one, and then like boom, 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 you make millions of dollars a year. And another example I like to give is like, we have this accounting software in Norway called Fiken, and it's very good, super basic. It looks like they used Bootstrap from like 2015 to create the UI. Like it like there's no custom UI, it's just Bootstrap, right? And they make so much money. Each of the founders every year take out 30 million kroner in bonuses. And this is all public information. You can go and check it out. 30 million kroner in bonuses. You will never get that in a normal job. Never. These guys are freaking clocking 30 million. That's like, how much is that in dollars? That's $3 million. Just bonuses each year to all three of the founders. It's just different. Like, it's just a whole different game. Like, you will never solve your money problems being inside of a job. And I realized this recently when I was working a job paying me $200,000 a year, and it just wasn't like, you still are there every day, like you're asked to do so much stuff and blah blah blah. Like, it's not meant, like, if you have an entrepreneurial mind, you will feel so trapped inside of a job. And I recently said this, and that's what made me realize this. I would have rather worked a job paying me like $60,000 a year with like no stress than to make those $200,000 a year and work the way that I did, like the amount that I did, the hours I did. And this is not like towards a specific company. It's like, it's principally speaking. Like, with the more money you make, the more responsibility you have. But being an employee is very different than owning the business or taking salary plus profit share, because then you have way more incentive to actually work on this thing. Whereas, if you have salary, the example I like to give is, say you're making $100,000 a year. You can work as hard as you want, but damn well you're still getting paid like $100,000 a year. How much is that a month? Like 8,000? Like 8.3K. Like, you're still getting 8.3K every month. Like, no matter how hard you work. If you close like 4 more clients, or the feature that you build generates $400,000 in revenue every month, you're still just getting paid $100,000. I don't like that mindset. Like, I don't like that limitation. It just feels wrong. It feels like you're putting all of this time and effort that you could have spent on something else, and you're putting it in the wrong place. You're using your limited time that you have on this earth on some shit that isn't gonna exponentially grow and pay. And I've told my parents this, and I've told my friends this. I would rather go broke and die trying, and I mean this shit. Like, I don't like this, the rent I have here, like right now I'm at a place where I've just cut out all of my income from jobs, and it's just like, it's go. Like, it's go time. It's it's now or never. If I don't make it now, I move back in with my parents. And I don't like to use the word make it. I said make it now, like, as in, like, I gotta make money through some means. And it's like, now I have the time, but I don't have the money. Before I had the money, I didn't have the time. And that is what I'm trying to figure out. That's where I'm at in life now. I've been through so much. A lot of people would call me successful. I have the skills, like I have the necessary skills of what it takes to become successful, but I haven't been able to utilize them to the point where I can build something of my own and call myself successful from that. I think the day that I'm racking in quite a bit of money through something that I have built is the day that I will feel properly fulfilled. Even if it's like, I hate to use these generic ass numbers, but like $10,000 a month. That's like less than what I got paid in my previous job, but this is what you're getting from your thing that you're like, that you built, and you can scale it indefinitely, probably depending on the market. But at least you can scale it and you can make more. And I love that thought of like, I love that idea of it doesn't stop here. Sure, 10,000 is like, yeah, like we made 10,000. How to make 15 now, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 per month. Like, I just can't have that same mentality working for someone else. Like it just doesn't work. Like I'm just not built that way. But yeah, so that's basically my life. I'm sort of stuck in this loop of I'm trying to figure out what to build. I have the skills, what it takes, but I feel stuck is the right word. Like, I felt stuck for a long time. And when I do have a startup or something that I'm working on, I am so overly obsessed about that one thing. I barely sleep, I barely eat. I just do that one thing. But now I'm like trying to be more conscious about it. But I'm so obsessed. And I think that obsessive personality mixed with the curiosity I have to figure shit out is a really good match. And I think that is what's going to take me far. Not the fact that I can code. And I had a conversation with my friend yesterday. He usually comes around to my place and we work from here and have great conversations. I appreciate you, my bro. Like, one day we're like, I'm saying this to you as well, bro. Like, it's us two and we're going to be up there. Like, I would like, that's one thing I've learned. Especially starting, like, accelerating life at such a young age. None of my school friends are up to the speed that we are, and it's going to take them, if they go the traditional way, like 10 years plus, right? Like, they're just at this point so far behind because we went different paths, right? And they're still my friends. I still talk to them and they're still friends, like I said, but it's just we just live different realities, and that's just how life is, right? We all choose to live our own realities. We all choose to believe in what we do. And we all choose to attack life differently. And that's what's going to put us apart. That's what's going to put my boy Muba and myself apart. We don't think like the rest. And if everybody thought like us, we would be no different. So, yeah. What else? I was on to some thought, but now I forgot it. But that's basically my life. And I'm making this for myself so that I can look back at it in like 10 years, 5 years, see how my mind has changed. That's another, I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the thing, but one thing that's been holding me back from not producing content but creating it is the fact that we change as people. And I might say something now, I might have said something in this video that in like literally I talk to someone else tomorrow and we have a discussion and I learn something from that discussion to where my mind has now changed. So what I claim today, tomorrow I might literally contradict myself because I disagree with what I said today because of what I learned tomorrow. Like, I hope that makes sense. And I see a lot of people, like a lot of creators online, they say something and then obviously like they might change their opinion and they say something else later and everybody throws shade at them for, oh, you changed, like, oh, you contradicted yourself. But that's just how we as people operate. Like, we learn, right? Like, we learn and we grow and we become better people and we become more reflected people as we grow. We learn from our mistakes. I might say something today that tomorrow I disagree with. And that's just how it is. That's just the nature of this. And I can't let that hold me back from uploading content. That's one thing that I was genuinely like a bit not afraid of, but that was holding me back a bit from, oh, like, what if I say something now and people think that's what I really think, but then I haven't uploaded a video yet explaining what I really think now, and why would I dedicate a whole video to just that idea because I changed my mind, right? So, yeah. anyways, I'm gonna start to do these a lot more. Let me know if like what sort of things you want to hear about, and I can structure these a bit more where I have like bullet points of things I want to talk about. I'm gonna go back to coding. I'm building some really cool things. I was gonna say stuff and then things, and it turned into things. That was the same shit. Anyway, building a cool thing that's going to allow me to ship startups really fast as opposed to weeks or months. I can do it in weeks, if not days. So that's going to allow me to ship fast and try a lot of different things. That's one thing I'm setting up for myself. I'm setting myself up for success with this thing. So hopefully that works. But thank you for watching, and to myself in the future, I hope this is something that can help you realize where your mind was at July 10th, 2024 at 4:17, 4 p.m., 17 minutes after 4 p.m. I'm funny. Okay, cool. Thank you so much.